Hey podcast family, welcome to CMXP2's Intersect Asia, where bold ideas meet insightful dialogue. My name is Dennis Hussein and I'm the senior partner and co-head at CMXP2, a strategy advisory firm with deep expertise across several high regulated sectors: agriculture and agri-food, food and nutrition, life sciences, global banking and global markets. Welcome everyone. For today's podcast, we explore the very dynamic growth sector of aquaculture, globally and especially for Asia. For our viewers, let me quickly tee up the significance of the aquaculture sector. So aquaculture is a big part of agriculture and the sector that is really growing. Over the next 10 years, until 2035, the global aquaculture products market is supposed to rise from 218 billion to 360 billion in 2035, pegging its annual growth rate of about 4 to 5%. Now, Asia Pacific is a global player. It accounts for more than 70% of the world's aquaculture production. In Asia, the global players are China, India, Vietnam, and of course, Indonesia. Asia Pacific is expected to see the most growth in aquaculture domestically and globally. It's very important to highlight that for the aquaculture sector, Asia's practices are setting the pace that could influence global standards, from sustainability methods to regulatory frameworks. The sector's growth presents both amazing opportunities and some hard challenges. So with that background, let me introduce today's expert guest, Dr. Romi Novriadi. He lectures at the Jakarta Technical University of Fisheries and also serves as the Vice Chairman of the Indonesia Aquaculture Society and the Editor-Chief of Indonesian Fisheries Research Journal and Media Aquaculture. Dr. Novriadi has published more than 35 peer-reviewed research articles in the area of his expertise, namely aquaculture, nutrition, shrimp, and fish farming, functional feed, immunology, aquaculture technology, and disease management. Dr. Romi is also part of CMXP2's expert advisory panel called the Big Hats. Today, we get the pleasure of hearing from Dr. Romi about his insights about this dynamic aquaculture market and what the future holds for the industry, particularly for Asia. Dr. Romi, welcome to Intersect Asia. Great having you on the show.
Thank you, Dennis, for having me in this show.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Romi from Jakarta. So to kick this off, I have a two-part question. High level, what's your assessment of the current global aquaculture market and what are the factors driving aquaculture's growth specifically for Asia?
I would say that aquaculture right now remains the fastest growing food production system worldwide. We know that aquaculture right now is supplying over 50% of the global seafood consumption compared to the capture fisheries. And the rapid expansion of the aquaculture is mainly driven by the increasing demand for the fish protein and also shifting consumer preference. And also it's also supported by the declining wild fish stocks and also the technological advancement. So if we are talking about Asia, the rapid growth specifically for Asia, we know that aquaculture, more than 90% of the global production is in Asia. Several factors contribute to this growth. First is the favorable environmental condition. We know that Asia, especially in the Southeast Asia, all year round is a warming temperature. So it's really comfortable and very favorable to produce the aquaculture, the aquatic organisms in this region. And then in Asia, we have abundant resources of the water, like a Mekong Delta, Musi River, and also Bay of Bengal, the all very vast areas suitable for aquaculture. We know that the Mekong River produces a lot of pangasius there, and Musi River produces a lot of tilapia there. So this is the main reason why aquaculture more in Asia compared to other continents. And also the technological advancement, Dennis, this is also become the main factor that support the growth of aquaculture in Asia. We know that automatic feeder, will make sure the consistency in feeding management and also in delivering the nutrition to aquatic organisms. So we can make sure the optimal growth of the aquatic organisms will be there after we are using this technology. And also the government regulation has also become another factor, also support this rapid growth of aquaculture in Asia. For instance, like in Indonesia, we know that the aquaculture development, even this program, including Blue Economy program of the National Action Plan in Indonesia, also support the aquaculture become the main driver for the food supply in the future. So these combined factors positioning aquaculture as the important contributor to the global food security and also the sustainable of the seafood industry.
It's really interesting that you really went through the factors that are driving that growth in Asia and all the favorable environments. So it's really good. Now, it's not all rosy all the time. So while we talked about the factors driving Asia's aquaculture sector, in your expert opinion and perspective, what are the challenges and constraints facing the aquaculture sector?
Aquaculture industry face several pressing challenges, including the price volatility, and also the second one is the rising feed costs. The third one is the disease outbreaks, and also the climate change, and also the degradation of the environmental quality. So all of these factors will impact the sustainability and also the responsibility of the production system. This is particularly evident in shrimp industry. We know that because of the disease outbreaks, it can significantly reduce the profitability of this industry. We know that several diseases coming to this industry, including the acute hepatopancreatic necrotic disease, the white spot syndrome virus. This can reduce the survival rate and also reducing the profitability of the industry. But there is always the solution for all this problem. The aquaculture need to move forward to more prophylactic or preventive approach. For instance, like to dealing with the disease incidents, we can also enhance the specific immune system of the aquatic organisms or providing a very good water quality condition in order to increase the carrying capacity of the production so the production will be more sustainable and more responsible in the future. Addressing all these issues, including with the a very good regulatory frameworks with the government, will also can addressing all of these challenges. So this is the factors about the challenge and how we mitigate this challenge into more productive aquaculture in the future.
So how does industry strike a balance between productivity, sustainability, and animal welfare? There's so much concern about our oceans.
In this podcast, I would like to say that the keywords for this to strike the balance between the productivity, sustainability, and also the animal welfare is we have to have a well-integrated system that combines all the innovative technologies, best management practices, and also the regulatory frameworks. So enhancing the productivity will involve the developing of disease-resistant and also the fast-growing strains, while we need to reduce the reliance on the fish meal. In aquaculture, there is an issue about the fish meal because the increasing price of the fish meal, and also there's another issue about fish meal with the microplastic problem. If we want to make aquaculture become more sustainable in the future, we need to reduce our reliance on the fish meal. So there are several alternative protein sources out there that can be used to substitute the use of the fish meal in the aquafeed formulation. So why not we use that protein source to make aquaculture become more sustainable? So we can use the soy protein, we can use the corn protein, and then to dealing with the missing nutrients, when we eliminate the fish meal, we can also put the additive or supplements. So the key is to balance the nutrients so the aquaculture become more sustainable in the future. Additionally, implementing the integrated multi-trophic aquaculture system is also important to strike the balance between the productivity, sustainability, or animal welfare. Because if we also implementing the integrated aquaculture multi-trophic system, we will combine the production of the primary commodity with the extractive animal. So with this extractive animal, such as seaweed, mollusk, or other shell, they can absorb the the organic waste from the primary productivity, and then make aquaculture become more sustainable and zero waste in the future. So this make aquaculture become more sustainable in the future. So to ensure the market sustainability, farmers should comply with this. Also need to have certification standards, whether organic or non-organic, to uphold the responsible farming practices.
You work with, policy advisors, you work with academia, you work with industry. So you're exposed to the commercial, the policies, and also the environmental aspect. What's needed to steer industry towards a more sustainable and profitable future?
Several key need to be concerned if you want to achieve the sustainability for the aquaculture production system, Dennis. First, we need to select the right production sites. This is the first step, and this is a very important step to initiate the aquaculture production system. We need to have a very good sites and also very proper sites that align with the environmental quality and also the special planning regulation. You know that every country, they have their own special planning regulation. So the farmers or the entrepreneurs that want to open the aquaculture production system need to obey the rule and also need to pay attention to the special planning regulation in order to support the sustainability of the production in the future. And the second one, aquaculture production system need to be equipped with a very good wastewater treatment system. We do not want to reduce the quality or make the environmental quality become bad in the future, because if we're talking about sustainability, we want the future generation also can produce the fish with the same situation with us right now. So this is the what we call as the sustainability. So in order to have a very good production system, then aquaculture production sites need also to have effective water intake and also wastewater treatment mechanism. And the third one, we need to also formulate the feed to meet the specific nutrient requirement of the aquatic organisms and also delivering the nutrition with the proper feed management system. Sourcing the broodstock from the appropriate and also certified hatchery is very important, because we do not want to introduce the pathogen and also introduce a very not a good quality post larvae into our production system. So sourcing the broodstock and seeds from the responsibly and also from the accredited hatchery is very important. And another step to make sure this aquaculture become more sustainable is the implementing the preventive disease treatment systems. In aquaculture, preventive is better than treatment. Preventive is better than cure. So in aquaculture, we need to apply this prophylactic approach continuously. So when we start the production system, we need to also thinking about how to enhance the specific immune system or non-specific immune system of our aquatic organisms, and also to maintain a very good water quality condition by applying, for instance, like a probiotic or phytoadditive to make sure that the water quality is become better and they can support the production system. So this is a preventive approach. A prophylactic approach is very important to make sure the sustainability. And additionally, the principle of transparency is very important, because consumer really want to have a very good source of their food. So the transparency in the production system is very important to uphold across the entire production supply chain. So from the pre-production to post-production system, the clarity and also the transparency need to be one of the system in our aquaculture production system to steer the industry, the aquaculture industry, toward more sustainable and profitable in the future.
Wow, that's really good insights from Dr. Romi. And again, for our audience, we are talking about a $360 billion valuation sector, and Asia is really dominant in this sector. So I have a feeling we'll be hearing more from Dr. Romi coming soon again. Just for our viewers, let me just wrap this up a little bit. And the key point that Dr. Romi is making is, one, the sector needs to enhance resource efficiency. The sector needs to improve market access traceability. That's number two. Number three, the sector needs to address the environmental impact. And that's really key. And then number four, the sector, you heard Dr. Romi talk about policy, private sector, everybody's doing their part. That the sector really needs to collaborate to really make this a profitable and sustainable growth sector. Thank you, Dr. Romi.
Thank you, Dennis, for having me today in this podcast.
Thank you so much for your insights. Really valuable. I'd also like to thank all the viewers and listeners taking the time for today's podcast. If you like today's content, you want to learn more about agriculture, agri-food, aquaculture, or even the food and nutrition and life sciences sectors, please go ahead and visit us and like us on cmxp2.com/insights. There are other podcasts available as well. Thank you, everyone.